What's up guys, Ronaldo here, and we have an amazing banner coming up this weekend. They waited for a bit to showcase what we've got, but we've got some spice. And for the guys that know me by now, I am usually really critical about summoning. I'm always really greedy about summoning because I believe you should choose your summons wisely, yeah. Which is also when some people ask me at Discord the last weekend what I think about the new event where you get a guaranteed new legendary. I said I feel like it's a bit of bait. I feel like it's a bit of a bait, and yeah, that aged really well. Aged like fine wine, not gonna lie, because we have Elowyn in here. We have Elowyn. And we're also going to go about Anai as well, guys. But first, before you do anything, go down in the Discord below. So if you have any questions like summons or guild boss or anything, yeah, I can reply to you. Some other community members can reply to you, and we can all help each other. Now, like mentioned earlier, I'm really critical of these summoning events, but now is the time to summon because we got a 10x summon and only 2 legendary rated up heroes, right? Which is good. So therefore, if we get one of the 2 legendary heroes that is rated up, there's a high chance that it's gonna be Elowyn. And the thing about Elowyn is that, in my opinion, she is in easily the top 5 legendaries. If we take a look, Silas number 1, Boreas number 2 probably, and then Elowyn number 3, Hatsut number 4, Comet number 5. Something like that, yeah. Some people will put Hatsut over Elowyn. I believe in absolute endgame, Elowyn is just a beast. And also for early game players, you might be like, okay, she's a healer. I prefer a damage dealer. The thing is, in early game, you can't really afford to skip banners that much. As in late game, you can't be that picky yet. So there we go. There's a good banner for you. There's also a good banner for you because Elowyn has such a low drop rate. She has such a low drop rate on the normal summons. The rates are rigged, guys. If for the guys that don't know yet, shout out to Fastidious. He made community polls on how many times they got legendaries and found out how the rates are rigged and how much each unit gets pulled on average. So shout out to Fasti for sure. Link is also going to be in the video description to his channel. He has a great channel as well. Then yeah, Elowyn, she is not only an AoE healer, not only does she put out insane amounts of healing, she also dispels all debuffs, which is big, especially for the Selene Nightmare Void Rift. Then on top of that, she gives you insane amounts of rage regen. On top of that, she has the Wood Elf that she can spawn for 5 cost that gives you insane amount of healing. She is just so strong, and I think most of you guys know by now how strong she is, right? Then before we go into Anai, real quick about the epics. Now for the endgame players, the epics don't matter that much anymore because you will have most of the epics by now. But in terms of mid game players, the epics matter a lot, and I can tell you guys, these are not the best epics. Let's be honest, these are not the best epics, but Harpoon and especially Daemon are used for the Abomination Fusion. And I had a long time until I got the Daemon, because I'm not 100% certain, but I believe Daemon's drop rate is also quite low, and it's not easy to pull him. So getting a higher chance to get him for the Abomination Fusion, if you haven't had the fusion yet, is going to help you a lot as well. Because Abomination is really good progression unit for sure. Then let's talk about Anai. So my personal humble experience, I don't have experience, opinion on Anai. So I read through her kit and everything, and basically she is a guild boss slayer. She tries to compete with the top core units in guild boss. And this by applying burning a bunch of times with her ultimate, with her auto hits, and her damage scaling off the amount of burnings that have been placed down. What I heard and seen from testing from Anai is that her damage is actually quite high for the guild boss, for sure. You can easily run a really good Soulbound Arcana set because her ultimate cost is really low. The question is, can she keep up with Hex? That's the big question that most of us will ask ourselves, right? Can Anai keep up with Hex? Can she replace Hex? And I'm not too sure about that. I'm not too sure about that, honestly. Because reading through her kit, I'm not too sure. But I actually believe she doesn't exactly have the same purpose as Hex. While Hex is a raw damage dealer, right? If we go to take a look at the guild boss real quick, we can see people damaging the guild boss for 80 million plus with Hex. As you can see, 180 million. Then here, 170 million. And Hex is really a menace, especially after he got some awakenings. And also, he also profits from Silas. What do I mean by that? I went over it on the DPS showdown already. And that is this right here. A 15% damage increase for another marksman. Hex is a marksman, so he gets a 15% damage increase from Silas, and that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. If he does 100 million, now he does 115. But like I said, I don't feel like Anai has the exact same purpose in Guild Boss as Hex, whereas Hex, his main purpose is just to deal a bunch of damage. As you just saw, he does a really good job at that. But Anai is a bunch of burning, and what I haven't heard anyone talk about is, first up, her awakenings are amazing, and they also have to do with the burning. And this right here, magic resist down. This will affect your Silatus, your hexes, your other units as well, right? So she will buff your team's damage, yeah? Then here, her A3 also sounds amazing. Some insane damage buffs, and her A5 also sounds amazing. So her awakenings sound really potent, yeah? But I want to go closer look about the burning that, like I said, not many people mentioned. Not many people mentioned. Now we have the A1. She is basically a damage dealer that does support, yeah? That's what I can read from this. She has a lot of damage, but also on the sideline she does a bit of support. As you can see, magic resistance and the insane amount of burning also has a good amount of utility. Because if we take a look at arrogance, yeah, if you run an arrogance, for example, on your team, it's 15% extra damage to targets inflicted with burning. Now that's not all. That's not all. Then if we go to Nightmare Void Rift and we take a look at arrogance's artifact, exclusive artifact, deals more damage to targets inflicted with burning, up to 20%, yeah? Then Silatus artifact, exactly the same, increases the duration of burning effects inflicted by hero by 3 seconds, deals 20% more damage to targets inflicted by burning. So the Anai's burning infliction will actually help your teammates out to deal more damage for themselves. Yeah. So my guess will be Anai will be quite strong in terms of damage, and she will give you somewhat of a bit of utility, but I'm not sure if the utility that she gives is gonna be enough. I'm really not sure, because the A1 utility is nice, right? But the burning artifacts that the Arrogance or Zilatu have, or Arrogance with his A3, is it really gonna be enough? Because these artifacts are good, but Arrogance and Zilatu have other artifacts that are just so good that I'm not sure if their exclusive artifact is even gonna be better, right? Overall, I can say Anai, she will help you a lot in Guild Boss if you don't have the ultimate team. If she's gonna be better than Hex, I'm not sure about it, honestly. Probably not even, I'd say, from the damage tests I've seen from other people, but we can only see in the future. Because Hex can make use of Araka as his lord. Where Anai can't have Araka, she's not a piercer, she's only infernal, which is good for her, but Hex has some benefits there. He has the benefit of Silas Awakening. So I'd say Anai is going to be strong, but you really want to pull for Elowyn, and even then, if you just want an Elowyn out of these two, for me, like example, I just want Elowyn out of these two because I have the top tier Guild Boss units, yeah? I'm still going to pull for sure. This is a great banner. Elowyn is so good, And even if I get Anai, it's gonna be awesome as well, because then I can make a DPS showdown between Hex and Anai and really see who's gonna do how well and not just speculation. So, in conclusion, guys, I think Anai is going to be strong, but I don't think she's gonna be as strong as Hex. But if she's gonna be as strong or even better than Hex, even better for us, right? And even then, even if she's not as strong as Hex, I will still recommend to go for this banner, because Elowyn is one of the few God tier units. There's not many God tier units in my book, and like I mentioned earlier, I don't recommend summoning often, but this for sure is a super good banner just because of Elowyn. Just because of Elowyn. Elowyn is one of a kind, and I really hope that if you go for this, that you go and get yourself Elowyn. I hope that all of you get the Elowyn in your first temple. Of course, it's not gonna be possible, but I still hope so. And if you want to increase your chances of getting that, make sure to subscribe, because subscribing to this channel increases your summoning luck. That's just a fact. And yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed. I'm Ronaldo. Stay healthy, happy new year, and I'm out. Peace.